Hey, Steve with Trimble. For this connected construction tip, it's for our structural and miscellaneous steel guys. Here we can see an opening bay with the existing steel that is actually already modeled. And what we're going to do is show that that model of what's there is pretty far off than what is actually in the field, so that when you go to fabricate, if it was done to just that model, it would be off. So we're going to want to adjust that so that it fits. So this will be a series of videos showing how to align this pretty quickly. We'll then export it, show you how to do those measurements in Connect. So if you want to share the scan data and model data with your detailer, if they're not on site, you can put it up there. And then we'll show you in Tekla just how to bring that data in. If you wanted to bring it into Advanced Steel or STS2, you could actually send the data there too as well to adjust that, I guess, adjust the design or where you're supposed to go. So here you can see the model is in green. That's going to be what is going to be fabricated. Everything in gray here is actually where they're telling me where this bay is. And we can pretty closely see that's off because we have another bay over here where the distances in between these two bays was off by a foot. So for these second scans for the second bay, we actually had to align them separately, and that's why you get that offset. So if we're just going to focus in on this first bay, to align it, we will turn off those other ones and bring this back. To align in Field Link is really easy to bring in the model, and that way when you export all this data, it comes in to the right spot. Select the start scan for that group or the parent scan. If you were to resection it would tie it directly in, but this is pretty easy to start to align. So here you can see this is an existing beam, this is two, this is the top down, or essentially the vertical part of this beam right here we're trying to align to. I can use this tool to change the center of rotation and move this to pretty much lock in to this top beam and this corner. That way we can run a comparison to see if this is vertical as well as the length here being correct. So something really obvious is this beam right here is designed to go all the way across. There's not even a beam here. It's also off pretty significantly in the length. So these beams right here don't really have much of a chance. These are going to be well short of what they should be. This one right here is going to be well short and actually can't connect to anything. So use that center of rotation to move, rotate, and align as necessary. We've already done that, or I have. So we're just going to leave it where it is and check the vertical by going to the side view. Once you get that aligned, and we have a couple of videos showing that, you can check how well you aligned it with an inspection, and this will compare the scan data to the nearest model component and colorize it. So this is showing me how I align the scan. This back beam here lines up very well, and this corner, obviously the beam is different than designed. But with that, I can pretty much say that this green beam will connect to that side fairly well. And then over here, if we look at this scan data, it also does pretty well as well too. But if we go to the bottom side, you can start to see this is the front face of this beam, this gray beam, which should be over here. That's about 3/4 of an inch off. And this beam right here stops. So there's nothing for these pieces to even connect to unless they connect to each other. So with that, I can do a pretty quick analysis that what they gave me as a model to fit isn't what's in the field. So the next step would be exporting this to be used by the detailer and using these as-built measurements in SDS2, Connect, Tekla, Advanced Steel, wherever I want to actually bring these measurements in. With Connect, I can just pull these measurements. So I'm going to go to Scan, Export. If I'm going to Advanced Steel, RCP. If I'm going to Tekla, E57. I'm going to send a couple different slices of these, or essentially different section boxes, so that it's just easier to pull measurements. I'll do that, and then the next video will show you how to take measurements and Connect. And the final video will show you how to bring this data into Tekla so that we can essentially move the designed, or not the designed, the as-built model just so it's a little bit easier when we design in these green components that are going to connect to it. So please watch the next video to see how to take those measurements and see how off this initial kind of starting point was from the GC. If you design to that, none of this fabrication is going to fit.